Campaigning for Malaysia's 15th general election is heating up with less than 2 weeks to go before voters head to the polls on the 19th of November. Dr. Francis Hutchinson, Senior Fellow and Coordinator of the Malaysia Studies Programme at ISEAS-Yusof Ishak Institute, joins us live. Dr. Hutchinson, campaigning has started. Let's rewind 2 days to nomination day. And we saw some very big names from BN, or UMNO rather, dropped or sidelined. If I could just, an interesting fact, of the more than 10 incumbents who have been dropped, 8 of them are from the Ismail Sabri Yaakob caretaker administration. I won't read too much into it. What do you read? How would you interpret this dropping or sidelining?
Sure. So to me, what it means is Zahid Hamidi is exercising the very extensive prerogatives of being UMNO party president. And of course, UMNO is the largest party within Barisan Nasional. So this means not only do you decide campaign themes, not only do you mobilize funds, not only do you target strategic seats, but you also give your seal of approval to who will run for MP as well as state assembly persons. And so what had happened was, up until now, of course, there'd been some disagreement as to when the elections were held, and there had been a faction of people that were seen to be close to Prime Minister Ismail Sabri. Now, most of these people are the ones that you mentioned as having been dropped. And I think what many people had been thinking was, we'll come together and we'll look at our past contributions to the party and our seniority. But this apparently was not the case.
All right. Some of these members have then moved on to either want to run as independents or as part of another party on another ticket. So whatever victory that the UMNO president has scored in terms of candidate nomination, he might have lost in other areas, such as party unity. Do you think so?
Okay, well, I think I'd first look at another issue, and that is, power within the party, right? So if Ismail Sabri had been a little more willing, according to Zahid Hamidi, to hold elections, they would have taken place, a year ago. But they took place now. And so what we see is that Zahid, who is UMNO party president, actually, and this is new because normally this figure is also prime minister, here we have the power divided. So he's not been able to achieve his aims. And so I think we can read this as one way of making sure that, he would have either a very weak prime minister, someone that would be beholden to him and not have an external power base, or should he desire to go for the top job, then there would be fewer obstacles. Now, turning now to some of the figures that you mentioned, of course, this person hadn't been expelled, but of course we can think of Khairi Jamaluddin, who is very well regarded, is arguably Malaysia's most popular politician at this point in time, and was seen to have done a very good job first as Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, and then as Minister of Health. And so what has happened is that he's been asked to leave his own seat and contest in another seat, making way for UMNO Deputy President Muhammad Hassan. So you can ask yourself, well, is this strategic? Because we're actually perhaps potentially sacrificing someone that is young and someone that is popular. But the thing is, when you're in UMNO, you tend to look inwards because you're so big and you're so established. And so he is someone that is seen to be, yes, popular outside, but not so popular inside. Someone that is perhaps a little too young in a party that likes old candidates, which is why he has a beard. And perhaps people that toe the line rather than be vocal. So he is being made.
But Dr. Hutchinson, if I could cut in here. So within the party, if party UMNO members see you need to toe the line or you will suffer the consequences, does that in any way interfere or take away from their desire to serve the party or bring unity to UMNO? And leaving aside the party, what does the electorate think when they see this kind of infighting? Does that affect how people go out to vote or not vote for UMNO?
So, I mean, with regards to the party, at least in the short term, it's made it more unified. Now, should they not win, then this will squarely lay at the feet of Zahid Hamidi, who most likely will need to fall on his sword. Now, for the wider Malaysian electorate, then you have to ask, and let's see who's more popular. And certainly all opinion surveys indicate that the current Prime Minister, Ismail Sabri, is more popular than Zahid Hamidi. So being or acting in a way that causes or raises questions as to whether he will be his own man if he is PM again, or if Zahid Hamidi is going to be the next PM, I think from an electoral point of view, doesn't help UMNO.
A very final question and a quick answer from you, Dr. Hutchinson. If BN, with these strategies, does well, and Ismail Sabri Yaakob is in fact the poster boy for UMNO and is put forward as the prime ministerial candidate, does that make him a strong or weak prime minister in the next administration?
So it could make him strong in the sense that he's the head of a large administrative apparatus. But I think when you look at the timing of the election, that I think we can surmise was not to his liking, as well as the fact that he doesn't have an independent power base of MPs that can support him, I think it's worth questioning how autonomous he would be.
Thanks so much for joining us, Dr. Francis Hutchinson, Senior Fellow and Coordinator of the Malaysia Studies Programme at ISEAS-Yusof Ishak Institute. Thank you.